So let's look at the Horizon Europe funding landscape. We saw that Pillar 1 and Pillar 3 are called bottom-up. Pillar 2 is called top-down, so you have to identify the cluster, the destination, and you're looking for the actual topic. Now, the other thing you must understand is that, do we need partners? Now, in European programs, a partner is a legal body, for example, university, research center, or company. So ERC, you don't need partners. But as you can see here, in most other programs, you need to be part of a consortium. So you must know which programs do I need a partner, and where can I submit proposals on my own. So when we're visiting the different programs, this is one of the things that we look at. Now, when you're submitting a proposal as part of a consortium, one of the partners is designated coordinator. So that's the partner that officially submits the proposal. Normally, there are 4 or 5 what I call core partners. Now, this is not a legal definition, but when we're putting proposals together, we usually begin by working maybe with 4 or 5 people that we've worked with before. And then we need specific expertise, and we can contact other partners. So a project could be 12 partners. There might be 6 core partners, including the coordinator. And also there could be a minor partner. So you could participate in a project doing a specific task and be successful the first time. And there's another category called third party. It's where you're not a member of the consortium, but you could be a subcontractor. And we look at this in module 7. And the other thing you need is what kind of supports are there. So you'll see later on when we're building a consortium, these are the kind of terminologies that are needed. And in the proposal course, we describe the role of each of these partners, especially the coordinator, who actually does most of the work when you're writing the proposal. Now, technology readiness level, I'll use this as an indicator of Horizon Europe. And this concept of TRL was invented back in 1977 by NASA, the American Space Agency. And TRL-9 was called Ready for Liftoff. In other words, the technology is fully understood, meets all the standards, meets all the regulations. TRL-1 means it's a concept. 2 and 3 means we're working on it in the laboratory. And you'll see the table directly under this slide. And there's also a table for social science. So TRL-4 means the technology is working at laboratory level. Not very pretty. And in 1984, John Dvorak said, there's no evidence that people will want to use these things. So up to TRL-4, it's science. But from TRL-4, it's more making the device faster, cheaper, lighter, and so on. But graphically, what TRL represents is the level of unknowns in a particular technology. So we can see here that universities are typically TRL-1 to TRL-5. Now that varies, but generally. Research centers, roughly TRL or SRL-3 up to SRL-7. And companies and societal groups like local authorities, NGOs, would be roughly 7, 8, and 9. So we'll use this as the x-axis of our diagram. So let's see, where can we get funding where we don't need any partners? Where must we have partners in our project? And also, where are the very, very large projects to be found within Horizon Europe? Now, we can see clearly here that Pillar 1 is perfect for universities. It's bottom up, so the scientist is totally free to submit anything they like. And ERC does fundamental research. So that's why academics love ERC. No partners, you decide what research you're doing, and it's fundamental concept. There's also something called Erc Proof of Concept, which I will explain. Marie Curie is about developing the careers of researchers, and research infrastructures is making the best facilities in Europe available to the best scientists. So for universities, Pillar 1 of course, is a top priority. It appears that Pillar 3 is more relevant to industry, which is true in the case of EIC Accelerator. So here's an opportunity for small companies to get funding on their own to scale up a technology. Innovation ecosystem is about developing support systems for entrepreneurs. And EIT is about developing the entrepreneurial skills of researchers. So Pillar 3 appears to be more relevant to companies or incubators. However, within Pillar 3, there is something called EIC Pathfinder, which is actually more relevant to universities and research centers. So we have to give this special attention when we're talking to universities and research centers. And if you discover something commercial, you can then apply for the EIC transition. Now, Pillar 2 goes roughly from TRL 3 up to TRL 7. Now, in Europe, there's something called state aid rules, which means that a government cannot give money to a company to make it more competitive than another European company. And under this legislation, up to TRL 4, governments are allowed to give 100% funding to companies. But beyond TRL 4, they can only give 70%. So they had to have two different grants within Pillar 2. But when you read the work program, it specifically states that this is a research and innovation action, and that allows laboratory research, whereas innovation actions are more about demonstration, prototyping, and so on. And further out here, we have a whole range of the other programs, and they're now looking for links between Horizon Europe and those. Now, when I'm presenting the different programs, we're going to use this diagram to indicate the philosophy of the actual programs.